Hi, I'm Bradley van Diemen, and you are watching From the Cape with Bass, hosted by Daniel Peterson.
Good day, all. Today we here with Bradley Van Diemen, great bass player here in Mitchell's Plain. Bradley, can you tell us what your first musical experience was?
Good afternoon, Daniel. Once again, thank you for your time. My first music experience, I think, we both sides of my family is musical. They all into music. Now my dad's a guitarist. His uncle was a guitarist and also play other music. My grandfather, from my mom's side, was a violinist, and he had his own band then. So also my mom then being in church, I was born into the church, so music was always there. Um, I only started off with music at a late age though, but music has always been around, and listening to cassettes and the radio actually draw me closer to it. Yeah.
Bradley, can you tell me why you chose the bass guitar?
The bass guitar. Um, my dad always had a guitar. I always used to see him play, but I could never reach. My fingers could never reach all the strings. Then I used to play melody on there because back in the 80s at school, the teacher used to play on the piano. We used to mess with it. Then I found out, hey, this guitar can play the melody, and I used to like playing Mary Had a Little Lamb, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and Happy Birthday. But then I started playing around with the strings and sliding on there. Could never play a song, but I used to play like similar to bass lines, and that's where my uncle Neville came in, and
Is that the Neville Abrams?
that's the Neville Abrams,
Okay,
the
okay.
original bassist from African Sunrise. He saw me fiddling with it, and then he told me one day that he will teach me bass. And I like, didn't worry. Then one day in church, um, we were always naughty, man. Ons pinkstukke kinders sit altyd agter. And then we were naughty and they made me sit right in front of the church. I was about 13, 14 then. Then, the worship songs and the praise songs was liquor that time. Then I saw Neville start slapping on the bass. And I thought, oh, I didn't know that guitar can play like that. Then one day I told him, Neville, Uncle Neville, I would like to start. Never ever came till I was about 19 years old. Neville came to me and he said he's going to leave. I think he was going to go overseas. And he says, you still want to play bass? I said, yes. And he gave me a guitar which was handmade, a bass guitar handmade, where the strings, the tonation, and everything was like hard and high. And he made me play with that, and that I think straightened my fingers. He just showed me what was G, C, D, and there was F, and there was C. And then he left me. Then I started, then Rankanoli came out. And the band Condonia was on there. And I know Neville had interviews with them already. And that's when I saw Abe Laboriel enjoying the bass. He cannot stand still. And that's the love. From there, my love for bass started.
Wow. Can you tell us, do you have any musical education? Did you go for lessons or are you still doing lessons or what is happening?
No, I don't have any musical education. My first lesson was with Wesley Ruston, but we were very young that time. We grew up together actually, and all he showed me was the G major, the C major scale, and then he got married, and then he left. And so, because we both grew up in Strandfontein as well, I couldn't get to him. And then from there, I just started my own thing. We started playing in youth. That time, Julius May, I don't even know the guitarist, Julius May, in another park. Our church was there, and we started jamming there. And that's how we grew. From there, Julius left. I stayed, taught myself, and then Wesley's brother, Stephen Ruston, very he's a brilliant pianist. I started to learn the left hand from the piano because he started giving me all the doings and not doings that the left hand should do, and that's how I started actually growing. And then I had another mentor, um, Edgar Seiss. He showed me my first chords on bass, and then Trevor Parker. I don't even know Trevor Parker. All the old guys come actually through him. Um, he also gave me extra mentoring on the bass. So, and my son is studying piano. He is going to graduate to grade 3 piano. So, slowly he's showing me music theory and how to read. But I don't know, this old cat can still get in there. But I'm interested. I would love theory. The best thing ever, I think.
Just keep the mic up. Okay. Bradley, can you tell us who the artists are that you're playing with?
I currently just play in the church band, or I get asked to play with different churches. And it's mostly outreaches and conferences where their bases can't make it. Um, I, I will, someone will always come up to me, we'll go. I play every Sunday at Rima, Portland's, called Church in Africa. The bass guitar is there. Um, recordings, only recordings I did was with Trees of Justice, which is a band, a band that Edgar Seiss has put together with his own material. The recordings were done, I think, about 5 songs, but I'm not sure if it's edited or polished up yet. And then I was also approached by Vernon Castle to play for him, um, but I think the church is too busy, man. The churches keep me too busy. And Trevor Parker, I was basing with Trevor Parker for a while, till January this year, I think.
Last year.
I mean, last year, yes. I think that's the last I saw Trevor before lockdown started. So, yeah, I would like to further my studies. You learn every day. I listen to a lot of YouTube, listen to a lot of cassettes. I mean, what you call it? CDs, music. Yeah, so you actually learn from there. You can actually see who overplays and who don't overplay. Yeah, so you learn. I don't think we'll ever stop. We'll ever stop learning. I think we'll learn every day.
Bradley, can you tell us about the gear that you have? I see you have some nice bass guitars here. Can you tell us about that, please?
Well, this all my gear. Oh, the wife sees this now again. Um, I have currently one, two, three, four, 5 guitars. I have a 5 string at church, and Neville has my 4 string Ebenezer as well. Um, this is my baby. This thing has a story to it. It's called the SR XXV. It's the 25th anniversary edition. The 25th anniversary. I don't know if the camera can see there. It's the 25th anniversary edition. Um, Premium, straight from the factory. This the story how I got this guitar was I was looking for a guitar bag. Okay, sorry. I was looking for a guitar bag. We were driving around, and then Natasha, my wife, was with me, and I went all over. Then I ended up at Music Select, Sound Select, Sound Select in Woodstock, and they had a bag there, and she said she will buy me that bag. And upon us asking for the price, the guy gave us the price, and we said, "Whew, it is quite pricey." The case actually. Then he came back to us and told us, "Sorry, it comes in a combo. It comes with the guitar, the strap, the tools, and the case, and they can't sell the bag alone." And then I said, "No, fine. I will go look somewhere else for a case." Then Natasha stood back, and I'm walking out of it, and she spoke to the guy. Then the guy gave her the price. And then she said she will buy it for me on one condition if they take laybys. And yes, they took a lay-by, 3 month lay-by, which I ended up paying probably for 4 months. Um, and that's how I got this guitar. Only when I came home and I did research, I actually found out the history of the guitar, of this particular brand. So if you guys want to check it up, it's called a SR XXV. Look it up, and then you will see why they actually made it for the, and how many they made for the 25th anniversary. Then I have another one, also SR305, because my 1 5 string disappeared. Um, it took me very long to get this guitar. I think it took me more than 2 years looking for it, and I actually found out that they still made it new. The price was right. I got it in the box and everything. The reason why I was looking for the 305 because of the electronics.
Okay.
This electronics you'll find on the BTB. I can't remember which one of the lower ends. And they actually stocked this electronics, and the 375 electronics are actually different. It's got the switches on here, the 3 toggle switch. This one has the 2 as well. Um, but this one's pickups I actually liked. But that one there, the reason why I got this, it's 5 string, and I didn't want to take this guitar out every time I play out, and I needed the 5 string, and this is producing nice power for me. Then, like I said, I have another 5 string that I only use at church. Sometimes carry the string around with me. My other 4 string is by Neville. Then I picked up this guitar, this Sanchez, at a, look at the condition, it's still nice. I paid like 200 Rand for it at a church bazaar, and it came with a Sanchez amp, which is from my mom's place. This one I just slap around because you don't always want to take to unzip my guitars, and this one just stands in the room. So whenever I feel like jamming or I hear something, I will grab it and play with it. Then I'm using a Laney three what's it, RB3 65 watt amp. The story behind that one is I used to use a Ashdown 180 Blue 300 watt. That one disappeared. Um, I loaned it out, and it just disappeared. Then, without anyone knowing, a pastor one day, I always helped him in the worship. He just found me one day to come to the church, and he told me, "This is for you," and he walked away. And then he turned around and he said, "This is to build God's kingdom. You can use it whenever you want to, however you want to," and that's it. Unfortunately, he passed away June this year. Last year, sorry. I stay saying this year, I must get used to it. So, yeah, that's my, and then I also have a Court um, 10 inch, 15, 15 watt, which I can also practice with. I also use the, as you can see there, the Fender FX A7 for in-ears. That's when we play on stage and whoever I play with and we require the in-ears. I've got that I got from Bofner at a very good price. I used to use a pedal, a bass limiter, but the new amps all come built in with it, so I've got that in ancient years already. Um, the strings I'm using on this one was Alexa. Wasn't too happy with the Alexa, and the price 900 Rand for 4 strings. I was blessed with Ernie balls that someone wasn't using. I think it was Wesley Ruston, and he put it on for me not too long ago. So I am moving over to DRs now. Very good strings. I played on Wesley and a few guitars with it. So yeah, that's basically my gear.
Do you have any advice for young up and coming bass players and musicians?
The only advice, or all the youngsters coming up, they obviously love their bass. And I found that if you love your instrument, you're going to sit with it every day. No one's going to remind you to sit with it. You're in love with it. So every time you have that opportunity, you are going to sit with it. So sit with it. The more practice you put in, I found out that the easier it becomes. Muscle memory start kicking in. And I know if you do love your instrument, you are going to sit with. I wouldn't even need to tell you or give you advice. It's like you don't need to tell me when I have a girlfriend. I must phone the girlfriend every time. I must go visit. You automatically will. So enjoy your instrument while you can, and just enjoy what you are doing. Don't also forget the role of a bassist. The role of a bassist is to me, I say the role of a bassist is to make everyone else look good. Just stick to your bass lines if you can. Do your fills or runs or chops, whatever they call it nowadays in the new terms. But that's my advice. Just always sit with your guitar.
Bradley, thank you so much for your time, brother. Thanks for making time for me and for the show. Godspeed on your journey. Thank you so much for liking and sharing this video with your family and friends. Please follow From the Cape with Bass on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you so much. God bless you.